The two separated a few weeks earlier. A breakup George admits to having trouble dealing with.
Today's my day. This is the blanket that I've been working on.
One of the items of evidence was a hair.
I don't know how big it's gonna get, or let it get. We'll see. I'm almost done with this row. I'm gonna roll this up, and then look for more. See if I can find more mint.
One of the surprising things about the case was that a number of the young people
Let's see if I can find some more mint
committed the crime.
and do. Let's say 4 rows of the mint, and then I'll go to the yellow.
There were a couple of residents
And then probably ended on blue. So let's see. So I'll do look for some more mint yarn, and work it from there. So I'm just gonna finish this up, and then I'm gonna, work on the booties. Now my fun show.
To animals.
One Hilton resident remembers Mark well.
Hey, you guys.
Mark is a very damaged boy.
Sharon Packer ran a drop-in center for troubled teens in the town. Mark was a regular.
What did you just say?
Most of the kids were very uncomfortable while he was there. They told me that he always carried a knife and he was always threatening them.
By all means, check him out. That's the job of an investigator. But keep in mind that being a little weird is kind of a teenage thing. The truth is, he's a kid. Could he really be responsible for an act this brutal?
This teenager isn't eccentric. He's a time bomb. He blows up cats. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to know that kids who torture animals often move on to hurting people. So yes, in this case, Mark Christie could be responsible, and the police have to treat him as a legitimate suspect.
And that's exactly what lead detective James Stenklick sets out to do.
Police officers spoke to Mr. Christie briefly.
Can you verify you were at school here on the 29th?
Yeah, I was in school.
Stenzik also talked to a guard at the high school.
He was here on that day, the 29th?
Yeah, he was here.
So Christie's clear.
With Christie out of the picture, detectives are under the gun to find another viable suspect. And while digging in police records for anyone with links to Viola Manville, it doesn't take long for them to hit pay dirt. In the shape of local sex offender, Glenn Sterling.
2 years earlier, Glenn had attempted to assault Viola Manville and had pled guilty to that.
That's not all. Chillingly, Viola's dead body is found in the exact same spot where Glenn tried to rape her 2 years before.
Is it just a coincidence that this guy has the same history with Viola Manville? Investigators can't ignore that kind of thing. Revenge is a powerful motive.
Glenn Sterling has every reason to want Viola dead, but it can't be him. He's still behind bars serving out his sentence. However, his younger brother Frank isn't, and that makes him a prime suspect. For the past 4 days, the small western New York village of Hilton has been reeling. The murder of popular grandmother Viola Manville has hit everyone hard. But when they learn police think local resident Frank Sterling is responsible, it compounds the shock.
Frank Sterling was a loner, not well socialized, eager to please. One of his nicknames in high school was Bug Chow. because if you gave him $1, he would eat a buck. He's a moldable, suggestible guy.
He might seem benign, but the one person in town who has reason to passionately resent Viola Manville? Well, that's Frank Sterling, because Viola's the woman who sent his big brother to prison.
Hold on there. One thing good about a small town is that it's not hard to figure out who you're dealing with. And unlike his brother, Frank has no criminal record. He has no history of violence. He's eccentric, yes, but he's also the school bus driver, which means people trust him. If cops want to pin this on him, they'll need to find some real evidence first.
The first task for detectives? Find out exactly where Frank Sterling was when Viola was killed.
Everyone knew that Mrs. Manville took her walk at like 7:30 every morning.
Wow.
So the operating assumption was clear that this murder occurred sometime early in the morning.
But no, listen, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning.
Frank was a school bus driver at that time.
Okay.
So that typical day for him would start about 6 o'clock in the morning when he was picked up. And it would go until about 10.
Detectives went to his place of employment and they got his time records. And they talked to the supervising bus driver, who affirmed that yes, he was on the bus that morning. After he got home from work, he had watched cartoons on TV. Investigators went to the television station and checked to see whether those shows were on at that time and what the plots of those shows were. And he was correct in his description of that. After he had come home, he had baked a cake. And he then had to go to the store to get frosting. But they were out of the maple frosting that he wanted. They only had rainbow frosting. So the sheriff's deputies actually went to the store and determined that yes, the store had been out of maple frosting, and they did have rainbow frosting.
Detective Stenklick and his team have a problem. Revenge might have motivated this murder, but when would Frank Sterling have had the opportunity?
This new information not only seems to clear Frank Sterling, but it also means the investigation is in danger of stalling. The precious few leads detectives scraped up have come up empty, leaving them with no viable suspects in a town that's clamoring for answers.
People were very, very frightened that there was a killer still loose.
Mrs. Manville's family got very involved in trying to help the police, putting up posters. They wanted to make sure that there was no stone unturned.
Still, the police operation goes nowhere. As weeks turn to months, and months turn to years, they get no closer to seeing justice served.
The nature of the crime and the sense of loss was something that tormented the
Hi, Papa.
Hey, leave him alone.
Right?
Headed up to find an ambitious young detective.
Patrick Crowe was
All right, I'm gonna go for a walk.
Okay.
in his own ability.
Could I have you get me something from the store? Down the street? Gas station? Uh-huh. Oh, I didn't need anything. I've been good.
Look again at the
Some wine?
and come to one
One?
inescapable conclusion. Everything points to one man.
Well, if you get my card, wait.
Only suspect
Yeah.
with a viable motive for murder. Frank Sterling.
Wait, I'm gonna walk you that direction. So when I come back,
Oh, okay. Well, when you know,
Definitely suspected Frank from the beginning.
you're a walker.
Because they called it a grudge killing.
It's not long before the cold case team decides to put him under surveillance.
I tried.
At this point, Frank had become an over-the-road trucker. He had just returned from about 36 hours on the road. He hadn't slept.
Just one.
There he is. Let's go get him.
It was 6 o'clock in the evening, and they chose that time to come and pull into his driveway, say, Frank, we're re-interviewing everyone.
Appreciate it, Frank.
That means they need to bring Frank back to their office. Because this time, they want him to get strapped in and take a lie detector test.
Hey, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
What happened?
You've got to be shitting, man. Get in a cage.
What happened?
The second I left, you went straight downstairs to try and get some food. Cage!
He
You
went.
thought I was gone.
He
So when I
went.
opened that door, you freaked the fuck out and ran all the way back upstairs.
You're kidding.
Yeah, Cage.
Well, he can't get in your room.
Doesn't matter. It's the fact that you tried. Cage.
They asked Frank a bunch of innocuous questions.
Okay. Man, he's gonna be one strict dad. Huh? What?
Said go get your card.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going in that direction, so we'll see, but...
Get down to
Okay.
business.
Frank, I want you to imagine you're walking the railroad tracks. You see yourself there? Yes. You see Viola and Angela?
Yes.
Sensing a breakthrough, Frank's interrogator cuts to the chase.
He says, here comes Ms. Manville now. What do you do?
Did you kill Viola and No.
With that, the interrogator says he has what he needs. Frank passes.
Okay.
That's not what they tell him.
I was so frustrated, confused, so tired I didn't even realize the consequences of what I was saying.
What's going on here? In
Stop
pursuit of a
and get my
confession,
wine.
they're legally allowed to say just about anything. It doesn't have to be true. They tell Frank he failed the lie detector. Why? To play with his head, to get him rattled and stressed.
You're gonna be in for a long night.
Be right back.
Certain Frank's lying, but sly enough to beat the polygraph. Detectives take a softly approach in an attempt to winkle out the truth.
Frank, I understand this is going to be difficult.
Sorry, Frank, I understand.
Look, show me the pictures of the crime scene. Okay, does this help refresh your memory?